Hey, I'm Pro Saxophonist Jamie Anderson, and you're watching Get Your Sax Together, the home of free online saxophone lessons. Now, today, I've come back to my favourite place in the world, which is sax.co.uk in London, which is the saxophone mecca. Unbelievable about saxophones and gear. It is a paradise for saxophone lovers. But today, I've got a very special test. That is going through all different tip openings to show you the difference in sound and to give you my feedback on what it feels like. I'm going to bring in Jim and we're going to go through all the different tip openings from 5 to 9. We're working 9 to 5. That is really creepy and weird, actually. I might have to use that for the thumbnail. Just before we jump into that, please do make sure that you check out my Saxophone Success Masterclass, which you can see linked there, or click the link in the description. It is a free masterclass. Help yourself, just fill in your email, and you will be able to instantly improve your practice and up your skills on saxophone. Okay, without further ado, let's now bring in Jim and we'll start the test. Okay, so we're going to crack on with the test now. This is the 5-star HR star, and you know, for the record, we're using Jody's Power Ring ligature. Now then, what was the reed again?
So
it was
Select Jazz, D'Addario Select Jazz reed, and you've gone 3 medium and filed.
Yeah, just like he said. So we're going to use the same reed for all these different mouthpieces, all 5 mouthpieces, which is going to be interesting. All right, let's give this a little whirl then, shall we? Okay, so I'm going to keep in all the mistakes and flubs and fluffs, even though I'm really tempted to go again, because that kind of tells its own story.
Yeah.
Which is that I'm used to putting more air, I guess, through, and the reed not, you know, chirping like that.
I agree.
However, if I spent a bit more time with the 5-star, I'm sure it would be absolutely fine. I just haven't spent much time. In fact, I've spent no time on it. So often these things might sound the same, but they feel different, don't they?
Yeah, and you see the results there.
Yeah.
A nice tone and everything, but then you get the chirp at the start of the note because you weren't expecting the aperture to be what it was and all the rest of it.
And the reason I play a larger tip opening mouthpiece is that this feels a little bit constrained for how I blow the saxophone. So it feels like I'm almost a bit choked, like somebody's got a towel in front of my mouth when I'm trying to talk. That sort of feeling. Right, let's now move on to the 6-star. This is the JodyJazz 6-star, same reed. So let's give it a little whirl. I'll see if I can remember what I played. I can't promise you it'll be exactly the same. And we'll see if you can tell the difference. So here we go.
can tell you were enjoying yourself much more on this setup.
Yeah, right.
And I think everything just took off a bit more. All the note starts and the way you just opened out everything. It was all much more there. And this is only the 6-star, right? We've not even got going for you yet.
That is so interesting. It did feel more comfortable straight away. I suspect it wouldn't have sounded that different yet. So,
I would say sitting next to you, and it might be different when you listen back at home and all the rest of it. But I did feel that there was more openness in the sound. I say feel, but I could hear it as well.
Okay, great.
A little.
I personally, you heard for yourself. I struggled slotting the Altissimo B flat and Altissimo F this time, but I went back and you heard I kind of got it the second time. So these are the things that you just adjust to when you get used to your mouthpiece. Okay, let's now move on to the middle tip opening, which is the 7-star. We've now got the 7-star, so let's do the test again and see what happens. All right, so impressions.
Everything worked. It all popped out. And the sound has more breadth to it.
Yeah.
You're enjoying it even more than the 6-star. That 5th test is a really good sort of sets the bar nicely, doesn't it? At the start of this experiment, when that's popping, and because it covers the whole range. You know that everything else is going to come out of it, which I felt it pretty much did.
So I've heard people say that as you widen the tip opening, it gives you a bit more scope with how the tone changes. And I've never had a chance to check this out for myself, but I am experiencing that for myself. I can change the way the sound sort of morphs. I can make different colours easier with a wider tip opening.
Agreed, yeah, and I think it's and that marries up with the amount of air you put through it. So you put the less of an airstream through it, and you get the dark fluffiness, and that is sort of amplified on this kind of tip opening and beyond. And then when you really push, you can hear those overtones coming in, and it sort of brightens up, so you get this massive scoop from here to here.
Yeah, interesting. Right, let's get onto the 8-star, which if I could choose a tip opening, it would probably be 8-star, because that's what my regular setup is. So I expect big things here. Let's get this going. All right, we now have the JodyJazz 8-star, HR 8-star, which is, as I mentioned, the tip opening that I would choose. So let's see what happens now. That's more like it, guys. Just personal. That's for me. Obviously, that feels much more familiar, and suddenly there's a lot more familiarity and richness to the sound that I'm used to.
Yeah, I can tell straight away as well. You're really comfortable there.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it's this stepwise process to get into where you need it to be. But you know, that's your tip opening. You've spent. I mean, I would say to sort of defend perhaps some of the other tips and how they may work for other individuals, which we might get onto discussing in a bit. But and it's such a personal thing, of course. But this is the setup that you've been used to for I don't know how long, decades perhaps. And so everything is set, not just your embouchure, your mindset, all the breathing systems, and everything just pops out nicely.
Yeah, I totally agree. And for somebody that's used to playing a 6-star, which is many incredible players, this would feel equally unfamiliar as the 6-star does to me.
There you go.
So this is going to be the interesting one, because now we're going into unknown territory for me with the 9-star. Okay, we got the 9-star successfully fitted, I reckon. Let's go for the test. Oh, I forgot to mention something from the 8-star, which was when I went for that first low B flat, it didn't come out. And I had to recalibrate the amount of air I needed to get that low note, which was interesting. The other ones, especially I think the 5-star, the low B flat was fine. When I got to the middle B flat, I overcooked it.
Yeah.
So it goes to show that the slots and the air pressure needed are all different, which is quite an interesting thing to bear in mind when you switch tip openings. Wow, that is a big difference in what's required. Blimey O'Reilly.
Yeah, I can tell.
Even the same phrases that I was doing, I had to then take an extra breath. But it does feel like it could pay dividends in certain situations. The tenor madness felt massive.
Yep. Yeah, and it sounded massive. Actually, I meant to say on the previous tip, on the 8-star, what I can observe in the room from just sitting here, and this, again, it might be different when you're watching at home, but they're all getting progressively louder as well. And of course, the way these computers and what have you compress things, that doesn't come across. It'll just change the tone slightly.
Yeah.
But that volume thing is a very important aspect of this, because depending on the gig type, you might be unmiked. You might not need a mic if you're in a jazz combo thing or something. It might just come across naturally, and that feels great as a player if that's what you're looking for, which is a massive amount of volume. They've all been doing this. The dBs have been going up, and particularly on the 9-star. My second observation on this one compared to, well, in fact, again, it's a progressive thing, actually, as we've gone through the tips. But particularly this one, the 9-star, I can hear more edge on the front of the sound. It's actually got a little brightness and a front to the tone. The 8-star had that, or that sort of airiness underneath, which this one does as well. But on the front of the note, there's more of a brightness on this one than on the 8-star for me.
Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? And unfortunately, we haven't got a custom 10-star or a 14 like Ernie Watts. But yeah, I noticed that, and that's not something that I was expecting.
Yeah.
So that's all we got time for this week. It's been an absolute blast bringing you the show here from Sax.uk, the mecca of saxophones in oldie London town. I've got my mouthpiece, creepy Edward Scissorhands mouthpiece fingers again. So I hope that was a useful video showing you what these different tip openings sound like. And I have also, and Jim, have given you feedback on, what it feels like. Is it objectively or subjectively? Subjectively, I guess. So, like I mentioned earlier, go and check out my Saxophone Success Masterclass that you can see linked there. And there will be more content, as always, inside my awesome Inner Circle membership, which you can see pointed to with my weird claw, my weird saxophone claw. Inside the Inner Circle, there's a bunch of really cool content. I hope you enjoy checking out all the stuff there. And there's a free 7-day trial. So get in there, man. You got nothing to lose. And if you don't like it, just leave. No problem. No harm, no foul. All right. If you bought me a coffee, as usual, thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. And until next week, make sure that you practice hard, practice smart, and enjoy your music. See you later, guys.
Taking that link method. How do you say?
With the moderns of that was a good take. Put that in the outtakes. Okay. And I can't remember the first thing I played.
Oh, you did the fifths.
Oh, I did the fifths.
Yeah,
right.
cut
Okay.
that a little bit.